They put me in a chair, they stood round, and he addressed me and he said, look, do you want a career in science? I said, yes, I do. Well, he said, if you want a career in science, in public, in front of these witnesses, you deny your naive faith in God. Because I tell you something, if you carry on with this, you will be intellectually crippled. You'll never make it. You'll suffer by comparison with your peers. So here and now, give it up in public.
Okay, John, thank you for coming to Houston.
My pleasure to be in Houston.
There was an instance I remember you telling me once where some professors brought you in and challenged you. You were brought before a group of professors and they pushed you on something and they wanted you to deny your faith.
Oh, yeah. What actually happened was I was in my college. We had a nice dinner one night and I found myself sitting beside a Nobel Prize winner for chemistry. And I chatted to him. And in those days, I was happy to talk to anybody because I found asking questions much easier than answering them. And I played Socrates. So at one stage in the conversation, we were getting on fine. And I said, look, in your work that won you the Nobel Prize, did you ever think that there might be a mind behind the universe? And he got red, he got angry. No. And it was disingenuous, you know. And that was the end of it. He turned to the neighbor as one does at these dinners, and I thought, that's it, I've blown it. But at the end of the meal, he said, Lennox, come to my room. And it wasn't an invitation, it was a command. So I went to his room, and to my great surprise, he'd invited a number of senior members of the university, 3 or 4 of them, plus the chaplain of the college. And as I remember it, they put me in a chair and they stood round. And he addressed me and he said, look, do you want a career in science? I said, yes, I do, really. I'd like one. Well, he said, if you want a career in science, in public, in front of these witnesses, you deny your naive faith in God. Because I tell you something, if you carry on with this, you will be intellectually crippled. You'll never make it. You'll suffer by comparison with your peers. So here and now, give it up in public. Talk about pressure.
Yes.
19 years old, Nobel Prize winner.
Times are different now.
Oh, they are. Well, it occurred to me even then, afterwards, that if he'd been a Christian and I'd been an atheist, he'd lost his job the next day.
Yes.
It was browbeating of the worst kind.
Yes.
So somewhere, I know from where, I got the courage to ask him a question. And I very quietly looked him straight in the eye. And I said, sir, what have you got to offer me that's better than what I've already got? And he said the evolutionism élan vital of Émile Bergson. And I thought, wow, I knew about Émile Bergson from C.S. Lewis. I didn't know at the time, I wish I had, but it didn't matter, that late in life, Émile Bergson, who was Jewish, wanted to convert to Catholicism, but didn't because of some atrocities that the church had committed in the Second World War. But all I said to him was this, because I knew that Lewis had refuted it. I couldn't remember the arguments at the time. I said, if that's all you've got to offer me, I'll take the risk. I'll stay with Christ. Good night. And I got up and walked out. That was transformative. It put steel into my heart. Yes. And I resolved a whole series of things. I was only 19. I was young. But I said, Lord, if I ever get an academic position, I will never do that. Use my authority in science to go way outside my field and browbeat somebody regarding their worldview, whatever it is. And it taught me that there's an unacceptable side to academia. This wasn't science. This was his atheism coming through. And it was a good preparation for facing the likes of Professor Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens and so on. I didn't know that at the time. But it was important, Jim, because when you face that up, I do believe that God put some kind of confidence into your heart. And coupling that, which was facing outwards into the atheistic world, helped me enormously in my confidence in Scripture. I'm going to stick with this. But I'm going to learn how to explain it in such a way that even you, Nobel Prize winner, will understand it.